McLovin, it's been too long, brother.
It's
It's
been
been
way
too
too long.
long. We missed a week, unfortunately, to our 5 to hopefully 15 viewers weekly. Also, thank you for watching the show. Thank you for subscribing. If you haven't already, go ahead and do so because we greatly appreciate you, McLovin. What you been up to, bud? Let's just start there. It's been a minute.
Man, just playing golf, playing golf. My brother's wedding was last weekend, so dealing with all that. But
What did you? Let me ask you this, brother. What did you shoot on that golf course? I
we're not
wanted
going
to.
to talk about that. We will talk about I did hit a birdie and two pars that day, but that's all I'm talking about.
I bet, yeah. It feels good to clear your first birdie. I've actually am not a golfer by any
Hey,
means.
you know that hole 7 in Liberty where you're it's a par 3 and you're on this hill and there's a little ravine like right there and then you have to go down that slope and hit it.
I don't remember. I have played at Liberty, but I'm trying to. I'm smelling what you're stepping in.
Yeah, but I mean it's a hard par 3 and I mean I hit it maybe a foot and a half away from the hole and it was a really good hit. But
So that's what you did on your Saturday, huh?
I did on my Saturday. Now
Let me
watch
ask you this:
the fourth quarter of the LSU game.
is that what the LSU Saturday looks like now?
Not necessarily, just
Because it's fixing to be what my Longhorn Saturday is fixing to be looking like right now. I'm fixing to
yeah.
be doing other things, man. Other things. McLovin, just before I got on here, it's we're at the state of college football where I feel like it never seems to surprise you or anyone for that fact because there's just drama all the time. And hearing the news that you're starting quarterback for the Arizona State Sun Devils, Sam Levitt. Did you see that?
Oh yeah, I did see that.
Has intentions to transfer, which to me could be a little telling.
Yeah.
And let me tell you why. Because I think Kenny Dillingham is a solid coach,
Arizona State.
and as many
Yeah, to me, could be a
players
little telling. Hang on.
as there is, as many players as there is in the coaching field. Let me just say that. Kenny Dillingham could be one of those sought after coaches. Uh, and I guess Sam Levitt just wants to kind of follow the mold of a lot of other quarterbacks at that second tier. And you can debate me or fight me or whatever, not fight me, but anyways, it's kind of that second tier mold that these quarterbacks kind of play at these programs that have the ceiling, and then they get cherry picked by well, a lot of people I've seen already predicting him to go to say a Oregon or something like that. I don't know, man. It just like leads you to believe where's these little programs, not little programs, but I would say maybe second tier football programs. No offense.
Mm-hmm.
It's just crazy. It's crazy to me. Something new in the news every day. McLovin, the playoffs. Man, I guess I lost him there for a little bit. Let me fix myself. He'll join back up. Anyways, playoffs rankings came out tonight, and informative they are. I'm going to try to share these and put them up on the screen, and we're going to talk about that a little bit and see which direction this takes us all, because it does need to be talked about. Obviously, I am a Texas fan, so I'm going to be somewhat biased to that. McLovin, thank you for gracing us with your presence again. I'm fixing to try and pull up a schedule of. Let's proceed. Let's proceed. Pull up a schedule.
I
See
kept
what we're
I
looking
kept
at
getting you
here.
I kept getting you real staticky, so I had to re up the stream.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. We'll look what we were diving into. Is there anything you want to comment on the Arizona State Kenny Dillingham Because I think, like I said, he's a young up and coming coach. Why wouldn't he be mentioned? He just brought his team to the Final Four.
Right. He definitely should be getting his name out there for bigger coaching jobs. Like UCLA, maybe even Penn State type of. He's a good coach. He's a good young coach. That's what you want. So I think if he goes somewhere, and not some huge school, but
What do you
maybe.
mean? He's not. He's already at not some huge school.
Yeah, but I'm saying not like a LSU, Florida.
So you're saying you wouldn't take him at LSU?
No, not a chance.
What about Auburn?
Auburn could take him.
That's the
That'd be a
thought
big step.
process. That would
That'd be a
make
big step up.
sense.
You get better recruits, and you see what he did with not a lot of big recruits.
Yeah.
So
Well, and that's the problem I think that he's at Arizona State is you get in a program like that, and that's why that's really mainly why I say it's second tier is because Texas, a team like LSU, if they really wanted one guy, they could throw the bag at him. You just saw it this past or this recruiting cycle with Ojo that went to Texas Tech. They literally threw him the bag, and I mean it's hard to turn
yeah,
down like $6 million. Like so, these schools can kind of push their way when you don't have the funds, the NIL for it. Now, shared revenue. That's I don't know when does that actually is that technically already kicked in? I don't know. I don't. It's still a lot. And last thing that I'll say is McLevin, and I want you to comment on this, and I want you to think about the answer because it's a. I heard Greg Olson the other day, and he made a really good argument in saying that it's got out of hand, and basically there's one or two. There is the NIL you give, but only if a kid is willing to come to a school and spend the time at that school. Now, if you had
yeah,
intentions to transfer, then there was no NIL package, which I'm like, that's good. Like, where does it cross the line? Because it bothers me when people start saying, oh, well, um, say, for instance, well, you got to retain your roster. What does that even mean in college football? What do you mean retain your roster? In college football, you're saying I got to go back and re-recruit my guys. No, like that's where I think the line should be drawn. I don't think you
yeah,
should be allowed to poach players, if that makes sense.
yeah. I don't think you should be able to poach. That shouldn't be a thing. You know,
Yeah, but
if
it
you want
is.
to transfer out just because you want to transfer out, that's one thing. But to be talking to other coaches, because I seen one. I don't know, was it Sark or somebody from a school, and another coach was talking to a player, and he had to go and grab his player to stop talking to him.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it was sore. I don't know who it was, but
I don't
I'm
remember
sure
who it
stuff like
was,
that.
but
It happens all the time, and I'm sure it does. And I'm sure that'll be the next problem of like when we couldn't figure out, okay, who's paying players. Then it's going to be like, all right, who's poaching players? Like
right,
somebody is getting. We got a mole in the group, and it just shouldn't happen. Like you're Texas, you're I'm okay with having like the farm system of like, oh snap, this guy's balling out at North Texas, which by the way, North Texas is balling out. Shout out to North Texas up there, the Mean Green, doing their thing in the top 25. But anyways, it's kind of like a farm system. You know how they have like in baseball, it's okay. This guy's gonna play here. Okay, then he's gonna play in our minor league, and then we're gonna, you know what, we're gonna get this guy. You know what I'm saying? Could
right.
you see college football going to something like that where your UTSAs and your Raging Cajuns kind of become like this farm system for like a LSU?
I think it has been for a lot of years because that's the first place you look in state. I mean, if they're not good enough to go to LSU at that point, but they go to the bottom tier schools in Louisiana, which I mean, Raging Cajuns they're really good every year,
Yeah, they're
or
solid.
or a Tulane or or Louisiana. But
Yeah, well,
and then
that's
transfer over to LSU because that's the school they want to go to. You know, if you're from
yeah.
Louisiana, you want to play for LSU. That's how we're born and raised.
Well, look at what Kyron Lacey did. R.I.P. By the way,
Mm-hmm.
he did. Kyron Lacey technically did the same thing. He
Yeah,
eventually
he loved LSU growing up, but he knew he couldn't go at that time. But he went and grinded and was able to
he
get
was
better, and then
was he
transferred
was
in.
he was he Monroe or was he the Raging Cajuns? Right,
I think it was Raging
Raging
Cajuns.
Cajuns. Yeah, well, and that's what I wouldn't mind seeing it. I mean, just a little bit of continuity because we know some Ohio people, and when you hear a Buckeye start talking and they're this and that, and I'm like, brother, if you just opened up your book and looked at your roster and look at the where froms and seen how many Texas kids you have on your roster, it's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
I just like used to, you'd say, okay, well, if it's Blinn, they're going to College Station. If it's Texas State, they're going to Texas. And I'm like, hey, I'm not opposed to, having like, a pipeline schools, I guess, that lead to, like a Raging Cajuns, Monroe leading to an LSU. That would be actually pretty dope. But anyways,
Right.
moving on, McLovin, I was bringing this up just because we got to talk about it. Just happened tonight. On top of that, let's look at it. Don't worry about the links over the
Football
side.
playoff.
Yes. So we're going to talk about this.
Georgia pulling up. Georgia
Yeah,
got
man. And it's
Number
crazy
4.
that you see Arizona State at the 25 spot with all the news that broke up.
Right. Tulane got into it.
Tulane solid. Houston had some games. Houston, if they would have played right, they'd have been much higher in this. Missouri plagued with a quarterback injury, so I don't really see. Missouri has Oklahoma next week, I believe. What surprises you on this top 25, McLovin, that you see? Obviously, Ohio State, Indiana still holding strong. They've been dominant. LSU or A&M, even after the scare. But Georgia
Not
moves
really
into a
not
4
really a
spot.
surprise, but there's one surprise: Utah being at 12. I watched Utah earlier in the year. They didn't look good. They didn't look
Yeah.
good.
Well, but look, keep in mind, BYU that just got smoked down by Tech is at 11. How does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but BYU's a good school. Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah, I'm not saying they
the
don't have the
division they're
heartbeat of a
in,
football
the
team.
conference they're in, and they have a loss. If they get one more loss, they're out. That's just putting it that way. Utah shouldn't even be in. I think Miami should be on top of Utah. That's all I'm saying. Miami's at 13.
How do you yeah, I mean, like I said, Bama and Ole Miss play, or I get them mixed up. I know Bama or Ole Miss and Georgia played. I don't know if Ole Miss and Bama played this year.
I don't think they played each other. Because Ole Miss is 10-1. They've only lost one game, and I think it was to Georgia.
I'm just shocked. I'm really kind of shocked at I guess Utah, but Texas Tech. Look, I think this is I'm gonna go on my bias rant here, and I don't think it is bias, but now all of this hangs on the contingency of because this is the beauty. Holding on, shout out for us Longhorn fans. Is we're at a 17 spot, so that means to me, I don't disagree with the spot, but I feel like that's the committee telling you, hey, if you beat Arkansas, realistically, you probably move around 15. You're not moving up 4. I think one of these teams will hang an L. Obviously, not A&M. They're playing a powder puff team. But so with Texas, this is where it gets tricky, McLovin, and this is what I want to ask you. What makes sense? Because I think, as fans, we try to put in our head and justify why our team should get this or that, or they should be in that spot in this place. So I started thinking about it, and I was like, our losses are to Ohio State, Florida,
Florida's
and
the
then
one that's getting
Georgia.
them.
What's that?
Florida's the one that's getting y'all. If I'm going to be
Yeah.
honest.
Okay. Yeah. So Florida's the one that's getting us. So, let's talk about. Yeah. Well. Okay. Let's
Because
talk about
at
Florida
the end of the
first.
day, y'all could be in Notre Dame's shoes if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Notre
for
Dame lost to 2
100%.
teams early in the season, but they were highly ranked, and they stayed ranked because of that. The Florida one's getting
100%.
y'all. If y'all would just beat Florida, y'all would still be in the top 10.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this, McLovin. Is Florida? This is where I think we're at in college football. Is Florida a bad team, or have they just had a bad year?
They've had a bad year with a bad coach.
You will not sell me one time that LSU is a bad team. And the
No, they're
reason
not
I
a bad
say
team.
that is because there's too many 5-star athletes. Now, there's more 5-star athletes at LSU than there are at Florida right now, certainly. But if you look, Florida was viewed to be a top 10 team at the beginning of the season.
Their
Why?
defense is a top 10 defense in the country. I mean,
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Why? Because they have
only,
athletes. They have 5-star
yeah,
players walking around that.
they have one of
So
the best defensive tackles in football right now.
yeah,
So
and so that's my argument on the fact of when you start pleading your case against the bad loss. It's like dude, Florida has 5-star athletes in the building. It's not like we lost to Arkansas Pine Bluff by no means. Like we lost to a team that had athletes. They had DJ Lagway that was some was considering a Heisman. Jaden Baugh is a dude. Their receivers, the Dallas or whatever, they were going bonkers that game because they were taking us over top. Like they played a good game that game. Texas didn't. That's the problem. That's where it becomes a bad loss. But outside of that, McLovin, so that's your bad loss.
right.
And it's a conference loss. Your other loss in conference would be at Sanford Stadium in Georgia, in Athens, which would be respectable, right?
I mean,
But now maybe
the number
the
4 team in the
committee.
country. So I mean, I think y'all got lucky. Y'all didn't move down that far.
Well, no. What I'm saying is the committee could maybe view the way the game got panned out, but if you kind of watch the game, you saw where it panned out, and we'll get to that later. But
It just sucks.
anyways, what I'm getting to though is, and then I'm going to turn it to you and see what your thoughts is. Our other loss would be another away game in a top 5 facility in Ohio State, the very first game of the season. Now, that's what I'm saying. That's where that thing gets like really curious, right?
Yeah.
Because if you're sitting here saying, okay, well, we won't take a team that's 9-3. It's like the once you add one more number to 2, you're out of the playoffs. Well, why won't you take a team, especially when you said you won't you won't downplay the non-conference games which Texas played against Ohio State. So if you're telling me, because we have that third loss on us at Ohio State going to that, so next year when you want to make all the money on that game, when you want to gas that game up to the offseason, and trust me, that everybody was so in awe, like this is what college football, we should see more matchups like this, big playing big, right off the bat, and teams need to start ducking, and we did that. My question is, if you punish them for that loss, next year, why don't we schedule San Jose State for that slot? Why don't we schedule El Paso for that spot and not give you the game you're wanting? That's my plea for Texas, but I will
I
say,
definitely get it. LSU's lost 3. I mean, how many was it? 4 or 5 opening games, under the Brian Kelly era. So
now that's all. Now that's all on the precipice that Texas wins out. I just want to be clear to that. That's that. I'm just arguing this.
I think if y'all beat A&M at home, y'all could get in.
And that's what I'm saying. I'm not talking about Texas. Texas finishing 9-3 means we beat Arkansas, we beat A&M. Like what would be the argument to keep us out? Oh, because they're 9-3. Because people have said that. That's been the hot. Oh well, there's not. I highly doubt there's going to be 6 SECs. I highly doubt there's going to be a 9-3 team. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's where I wonder how this thing goes as far as. But Texas has to do their job. I'm wondering if there's a. I mean, in Vanderbilt, look, Vanderbilt's still right there and very
Yeah.
capable and alive. So I don't know. Now here's the deal: the Big 12 title is going to be either between Tech's for sure in it. It's either going to be out of BYU and Utah, so that spot's going to be gone.
Right. I think BYU's going to get that.
Okay, so if BYU gets it and Utah doesn't get in, there's no way. You can't tell me there's no way three Big 12 teams are getting into the playoffs.
It's possible. I mean, I don't think all three of them don't get in. There's no way.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We're 2 weeks ago or a week ago, we're talking about like one maybe getting in, and that's Texas Tech.
Oh, definitely. Texas Tech is in. That's 100%.
And that's what I'm saying. I don't think Utah gets into the playoffs. Now, granted, there's a
BYU's
lot of
going to have
things
to
like
win
that.
out and hope a lot of teams lose.
But that's what I'm saying. So BYU, if BYU goes to the Big 12 championship and they lose, because they've already got the brakes beat off of them by Tech. If they lose to Tech, that's basically a 2-loss.
They have to beat Tech in that championship game to get in. That's plain and simple.
That's kind of my thought. So you have last thing. Let's see how many Big 12 you have. 1, 2, 3. Man, you only have 3. That's crazy. You only have 3 Big 10 teams, and you have 1, 2, 3,
No, we got
4,
Houston.
5.
Houston's
You got 5. What's that?
Houston's number 23. That's Big 12.
No, I said you. I'm taking the top 12 is what the playoffs.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Yeah, so that right now you're sitting at three Big 10 teams, 5 SEC teams, 3 Big 12 teams, which, like I said, that's not going to happen. And then Notre Dame, basically. So, anyways, McLovin, bring us to a game, and let's start there, and we'll cover them. And
actually, I want to talk to you about Virginia Tech.
Oh man, yeah.
Go ahead. Just
no, you nose this topic off. I know what you're saying. Yeah.
James Franklin to Tech. I think that's a good hire for Tech.
I'm excited about it.
Yeah,
I'm excited because if he can bring Virginia Tech even remotely close to relativity,
they're not lacking athletes.
No, but look, I just miss when Virginia Tech was a place that they never were. I'm trying to figure out when their slide was. They had Tyrod Taylor back in the day, and
Mike Big.
You had Mike and Marcus.
They get good players like that. They don't get bad players. I mean, the last few years have been rough, but you get a coach like James Franklin. That's a big name to be able to draw in more athletes.
And I'll tell you, well, he's going to get transfers like that.
And I like to hire before the transfer portal opens.
Yeah, well, and keep in mind, and I don't know if this amounts to hill of beans, but signing day is in 2.5 weeks for high school. So can he get in there and kind of pluck some of the guys he had committed to Penn State? I've heard, and I'm going to say insider intel, because the people that I listen to on college football, I guarantee you, unless you're a pretty diehard fan, you're probably not listening to the same people. But everybody that seems to be inside the know-it-all about college football is like super thrilled about this hire, because they said as far as recruiting, James Franklin already had a really big presence in the state of Virginia. So, I mean, I think it's a great hire. I'd never disliked James Franklin,
Definitely. Yeah, no,
and
I like it.
I'm kind of glad he didn't chase. I'm kind of glad he didn't like go to like the. I'm not going to say Virginia Tech or Auburn. More so cliche school to say, like, oh, well,
Right.
we figured you'd go to Auburn. Like that's the next biggest job after Kiffin or
Uh,
whoever
I
decides.
think he wants to prove he's got something to prove, and that's a good place to go prove it. He's gonna be like, I'm a good coach. Let me go turn this college around, and then they're gonna be like, okay, now it's your time to shine. To be able to go to a bigger college, SEC team, or you know what I mean.
Well, and I think it's a good school. Like you said, it's a good school for him to start at. McLovin, I hate to tell you, as much as we love Texas and as much as we love LSU, and yes, it is the most rewarding job that you can have in college football when you are doing well. But when you are doing bad, brother, it is
It's rough.
like there's not many people that's what somebody said about Sark. Though I'm who else is taking the Texas job that you trust at the moment? Because
Nobody. Sark is the Texas.
yeah,
You know,
but clickbait.
you
But
haven't had anybody. The last four coaches you've had ain't did what Stark's done. Two
oh,
back to
look,
back college football playoff appearances. I'm sorry. You have
if
one
that,
bad year.
I just told a diehard Texas fan today. I said, brother, look, because he knew who I was talking about, and if you're a true Texas fan, you'll know who I'm talking about. But just not too long ago, brother, we were trotting out Gerard Hurd and Lorenzo Joe for our
Mhm.
starting receiver core. If I could tell you how far we've come from that,
Like Sark is good at recruiting.
yeah, yeah. Well,
You
that's
understand
the
how good
thing.
that is to having a coach, a good recruiter.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, man. Is it okay? And then people, to be fair, people were trying to compare him to James Franklin. Franklin had 12
Uh,
years at Penn State, and he was like 0 of 18 in big games. Stark is like 1 of 9, 1 of 8, or some weird stat. But the thing is you have to realize in the last 3 years we have been in the top 5 of the recruiting classes, and I don't want to make this a Texas talk, but do you know when you like this season is kind of like still the gestation, but next season and the next season is when you see the harvest and the fruits of that labor.
right.
It's not an instant gratification. Now, transfer portal can 100% make it a thing. I think that's why A&M is who they are this year, is because they've done a really good job at putting a team together through the transfer portal. It
Right.
doesn't happen like that every year. But back to James Franklin, man, I think that it's an easy job for him to. I feel like it's going to be very rewarding for him because not only does he have like that fan base, yes, they want to win, but I can assure you if they get a winning, like if they can beat Virginia, check, we're happy. If you can give us a winning season, check. If you can get us a 5-star recruit in there, oh man, like you've set the world ablaze for them. So,
Right.
like I said, I think it's a great move, great hire. I think he's going to do solid. McLovin, I do want to say though, moving on, that your Tigers for somewhat like I knew where my Longhorns didn't they went down over time. Your
Right.
Tigers right off the rip scared the flip out of me, brother.
What do
You
you mean?
know, I mean, dude, you at 14-3 or 14-0 right there off the rip. I was a
Yeah.
little
Yeah.
nervous against Arkansas. What
Yeah.
do you
Arkansas is a good team. That's the thing. They have a good coach right now that's doing things with them. Ever since he took over, they've had 6 games within one score. I think it was 6 points was the most that they were down at the end of the game. That I mean, they're not a bad team. They're just I think they've had bad luck this year.
well, let's hope that doesn't carry over to
So,
Texas.
yeah. All right, you want to hear another report?
Yeah, yeah. Did it just break or what?
No, it's not just a break. But Lane Kiffin,
Yeah, yeah.
he
Another good
visited
one.
Florida Gainesville over the weekend, and
Did he?
then he visited LSU Monday.
Yeah. Well,
Him and the whole family on Monday.
so I know it's fixing to get potentially messy, and that's
Yeah,
I don't want to go back to the college football talk, but what is people saying about that?
I mean
Because I don't know if you
there was a
saw that
report. There was a report that Ole Miss,
gave him an ultimatum.
yes, and then he came back like about 2 or 3 hours ago and said that wasn't true. But
Do
why would you give him an
you
ultimatum?
so time out though, McLovin? Do you think that Ole Miss is basically just going to let their coach like just walk away with nothing? I mean, you have to.
At that point, yeah.
Like, we want to know you're coaching for us this year. We're fixing to have national. We're fixing to have signing day. We're fixing to have all this other stuff, transfer portal. We want to know if you're going to be our coach or not. Yeah, I mean, I don't. That's protecting them.
Yeah, I get that. But at the same time, you're in the college football playoff right now.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying though.
I just think
So what I
at the end of
heard
the
in that
day,
ultimatum, I heard that if he doesn't, basically, if he doesn't, the ultimatum is like you have to decide before the playoffs, or we're looking elsewhere. Like, so
right.
that's where I'm wondering if it gets in. How interesting does it get? Does the playoff committee say, okay, well, if that happens in 2 weeks, are they sitting there looking at an Ole Miss team like they don't even have their head coach? I mean, they did it with Florida State when they didn't have their starting quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying, would that ever happen to an Ole Miss program that Lane Kiffin leaves and they're sitting there? Who knows? Maybe still always a potential for another loss in the SEC. God
Definitely.
forbid that happens, but it would be hard because I think
I just
this
think he'd
year.
get so many more recruits if he went to Florida or LSU. That's
Yeah,
period.
I'm
He's
not.
gonna
I'm
get
not. I'm not disagreeing with you from that standpoint. I'm saying as far as Ole Miss goes, like they have to be like, all right, we got to know something. Like if you're leaving and there's all this smoke, and when there's smoke, there's fire. We need to know some transparency, and we got
right.
to protect ourselves. But honestly, yes, I agree with what you're saying. LSU. Now, I'll tell you what I am shocked at. This is what really questions me about Lane Kiffin. That's good for you, my friend. In nobody's world would I have ever thought Lane Kiffin would have ever like still been interested in LSU after the allegations of, I'll just say, the poor handling of, not that Brian Kelly didn't need to go, but just the poor handling of how he left.
Yeah,
Because you
but
had the mayor come out, like the mayor's like, I run LSU football as well, you know.
yeah, I just think they know what they want, and they want a winner, and Lane Kiffin is a winner. So you go after that,
Yeah,
and you
what
money
I'm saying
talks
is
at the end of the day.
it surprises me the fact that after all the rumors of, or not rumors, they're probably true, allegations that happened with that, Brian or Lane Kiffin's still like, yeah, I'm still interested. I think that says a lot for LSU because that means he's still intrigued by LSU, because it's not like Florida is like the bonsai tree or like the Chinese botanical garden or whatever. Like, it looks real nice. It's set up. They have his office, leather chairs set up. LSU
Right.
is like, we just, like a bar fight right now. And the fact that he's still interested to show up and check it out, I think that says that moves well towards LSU. So Lane Kiffin at LSU would be scary.
Yeah, definitely.
Last question I'll ask is, I mean, there wasn't much to gather. Durham played pretty well. Still a lot of field goals. McLovin cleaned that up, but
Yeah, definitely. We gotta score, even if it's with the backup quarterback. You
yeah.
gotta
Well,
gotta
that's what I
compensate.
was going to ask you. What do you think about Van Buren?
I mean, I think Ness is better, but Van Buren just has more mobility with the legs, so he's better now because the offensive line isn't very good. So
Is he one of those guys that is an upperclassman that's moving into a starting position, or is this just a guy
no,
that's
he's a
solely a
sophomore.
backup? Yeah, he's
He,
just a
he
backup.
he started for Mississippi State all last year, so I mean he doesn't have. It's not like he doesn't have experience.
Yeah.
He's an experienced guy. That's why we have him as a backup.
Well,
He transferred.
defense coming up with some turnovers, which help LSU come back and win a
Harold
close
Perk.
one.
Harold
Close
Perkins.
one, 23-22, brother.
Yeah.
22. McLovin, do you have anything left for your Tigers that you want to send them out on? Like I said,
Hey,
it's
got two big games coming up.
yeah, you do. Oklahoma. You gonna try
Oklahoma.
to ruin their season? Oklahoma's a season ender, so totally up to y'all. But
Yeah, we get to ruin that.
McLovin, we'll go on to the next one, and I thought it was funny, and the reason I'm going to say this is because I watch Kurt Herbstreit's podcast, and he's mentioned like twice, and you could tell when somebody like these podcasts that these like big time people are now doing,
Yeah.
which is somewhat not fair to us because they just have $100,000 they're sitting on, and they got a whole podcast studio the next day. We're over here grinding, baby, out here.
Sure.
Anyways, so he says on this podcast, yeah, man, a lot of people think we're so SEC biased, and so we're not that way, and we're gonna go show the world, and we're gonna go down there to Notre Dame and watch Notre Dame and Pitt play because Pitt hadn't. The only thing relevant about Pitt football is Larry Fitzgerald, and I'm 90% certain he went to Pitt, but like that's what I'm saying. So they go to this game, and Notre Dame literally mops the floor with them. And I was thinking, I was like, it's crazy that you have like Texas and Georgia, and not even if you were focused on that game, but if you were
Yeah.
Oklahoma and
Oklahoma,
Alabama,
Alabama. Yeah,
exactly.
that's a bigger game.
So you decide to listen to the people and be non-biased and go to that dog water up there. Did you watch the game, McLovin? Did at any point of
Uh,
that game? I was the only reason why I was
I watched
interested in that
Oklahoma and
game.
Alabama. I watched that game. That was a great game.
It was a great game. But the only time I was interested in that game is when I was just that impressed with Bryce Love or Jeremiah Love. Sorry.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, I love Jeremiah Love. I think he's the best.
that dude
He's the best
made,
running back in the country.
to me, if there's anybody and nobody, I don't even want to hear the Marcel Reed talk about Heisman. Mendoza and Love are my two top people up there in the Heisman. I mean,
I could
Love's a different
see
running back.
I could see the quarterback for A&M being in the conversation, but I don't think he wins it.
The problem, we'll get to that. It's, anyways, finishing that, Notre Dame, I think yesterday, to be honest with you, there's a lot of talk about, if Texas and Notre Dame could just swap places, like you said earlier. Notre Dame looked like a playoff team yesterday, dude. And I mean, from receivers making one-handed big catches to Love breaking and having some explosives to defensive playing physical and creating turnovers.
I mean, what did we say after those first two losses? They were going to have to win out.
Well,
And
yeah.
they have.
And that's but that's when you start seeing a healthy team is when you can tear up. Like it's like, all right, well, okay, you saw you went over film, you talked and you coached of what you did wrong. So now you fix that into the next week and you look a step better. And that's where I think Notre Dame is at.
They didn't lose big to the teams that they did lose to. They lost by 1 to A&M. They lost by 3 to Miami. So
yeah, I mean it was a rough first stretch, but like I said, I'm not. I'd say Notre Dame. I don't tax Notre Dame for. I think so. This is what I heard. Like I don't know if you can correct me if I'm wrong because I don't know if you know this knowledge. You should pay me, McLovin. Maybe you should pay me, brother. But so the way the committee is ranking this. So if you win McLovin, and LSU went and played Arkansas Pine Bluff, and
Yeah.
they're not going to give you any points for that. You still sit at 0, right? But if you say like a Texas, like I was arguing earlier, take your tail up to Columbus and go play Ohio week 1, whether you lose, if you win, obviously more points added, but if you lose, you're still getting 10 points compared to like somebody playing a nobody. You get what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, I'm getting what you're
So
talking
so basically you still get rewarded for just showing up and having the guts to play the game, win or loss. You know.
Right.
That's what I'm hearing. Anyways, Notre Dame survives that, and 2 games left in their stretch, and they're heading to the playoffs. I can assure you.
Definitely.
McLovin, let's get to this largest comeback. I know we don't like to talk about it, but we're going to talk about it because it was a comeback, and yes, I mean I was impressed of just.
But let me say this: I was
Go ahead, go
unimpressed
ahead, go ahead.
with South Carolina not putting up 1 point in the second half. Not one. You kick a
That's all
field
they
goal
had
and you
to.
win this game.
That's all they had to.
That's all they had to do.
Did you watch? So I was actually fortunate enough to watch the second half because I think I texted y'all in the group and I was like, "Holy snap, dude!"
Yeah,
Uh,
I looked at that and I was like, "Oh yeah,
A and
yeah,
M's. Oh, I had a
South
smile
Carolina's
on me.
got that game." That's
I
what
had
I
a
said.
smile on my face. I don't like giving too much information on here because then it just gives the trolls chances to troll. But I did have a smile on my face when A&M
Oh,
was
me too.
down. Um,
I loved every minute of
but
it.
then I
I loved
turned
it.
on the game, McLovin, and I low key I have these weird feelings in life. Okay. And I don't acknowledge them at the time, but then like I go back and kind of remember the feeling I was having at that specific time. And I was like, I kind of felt that like a weird kind of presence was like, I felt that at that time. When I watched Beamer come out of that locker room at half, that dude looked like if you could write with a marker on his head, don't mess this up, don't mess this up, don't mess this up, don't mess. This dude was pacing, and I don't know if you knew or watched, but every touchdown like A&M got, the paces got longer. Like he was going from the 45 to the 50. Oh, okay, now it's the 50 to 45. Now the sucker's going from the 30 to the other 40. It was just like he had that mentality, and dang, did it look like the offense and the whole team took it. I mean,
Yeah,
defense. What did Nick Saban say? They were running through us like crap going through a tin horn. I mean, defense couldn't stop a soul. What defense kept A&M to 3 in the first half is my question.
that's what I'm
Wasn't the
saying.
same one in the
South
first.
Carolina defense is not good.
I like literally the dude's disposition makes me think, and I actually like the guy as a coach. I think he's like I think he's a goofy dude. I want him to do well, but if you would just go back and watch the second half and just watch his how his demeanor is, like it's almost like he told the team at half, "All right, guys," literally, like he said this, "All right, guys, we only got 30 minutes left. We just have to hang on for the next 30 minutes and we could get a win, but we've got to hang on. Just make sure we don't let them score or do with this. Like, we just got to, like, it's just, you see how, like, it's just like like, just go keep playing how you're playing. Keep dominating how you're dominating.
Yeah,
If I'm coming in there at half, dude, I'm fired up, bro. We're smoking these dudes. They can't handle us. Give us some more.
yeah.
Don't tell me about, okay, now we're up by 30 to 3. Okay, we just hang on. We're hanging. That was his disposition. And I'm sorry to go on that run, but I watched the game and I was like, dude, this guy's making me nervous. Like I seriously, is that bad? Go watch it. You don't believe me.
Well, no, I believe you. I can.
A&M comes back. And now they get the enjoyment of saying they came back from the largest SEC deficit and maybe all time for sure, some years. That was a bad South Carolina team in the second half. Like
Yeah.
that was bad. That was like B team bad.
To allow 3 touchdowns in the third, can't do that.
No,
Not
no.
while being up almost 30 points.
Well, and that was my debate when people were like, "Well, about Marcel Reed." That's my problem, dude. Marcel Reed looks. Yes, his team is nine and whatever, or
You know.
yeah, 10-0. Excuse me. Um, but Marcel Reed, that's why I think A&M is gettable because when Marcel Reed is playing, like he's supposed to play in that Elko system, it runs good. It's scary, especially if he has all his athletes healthy, which that'll be in question with his other running back going down with an injury.
Yeah.
But when Marcel Reed looks like Marcel Reed, he will throw you a pick. He will fumble the ball. And I just think you just got to make Marcel Reed look like Marcel Reed. That's he'll have ugly moments.
Oh, definitely. Yep.
A&M just has enough defense and enough weapons. Like that's where A&M's strong at. A&M can run the ball forcefully, and they have good line to protect Marcel Reed. But literally, he doesn't have to wait. Like Concepcion and Craver, those are guys that need one cut and have speed to outrun everybody on the field.
Oh, definitely. They're fast. Don't get me wrong, but they're not impossible to stop. But Concepcion had 158 yards receiving. You
Yeah,
got to
I
cut
mean
that down.
he's a dude like for real. He's a fast, sure-handed target that Texas in a few weeks is going to have to account for. It definitely can't have the woes of
Oh,
what they've been
definitely.
having. But anyways, McLovin, bring us to the Bama Oklahoma game.
Wow, what a game!
What a
What
game!
the what a defensive stop in the fourth quarter by Oklahoma.
Can
They
we?
look so good. They look they. I haven't seen them look that good since earlier in the season. Like they didn't
Well,
look that good against Texas. They didn't look it. I mean, just really good.
can we? Is and I know I've given him a hard time. Not that he hears or cares. But just give Brent Venables some credit on that
Dude,
one.
so good. Such a
It-
good coaching.
I want to know what his message was to his defense before that game
I don't know.
because,
The first half, they got actually just were just getting ran through in the first half. I was
dude.
seriously surprised that second half how well that defense was stopping them.
Well, what I'm saying is, I just want to know what he conveyed to his team to get that such aggressive play on the ball, dude. Like you had guys going into to piles of guys and trying to tackle them, throwing left hooks at the ball. I'm like visibly, like
Right.
every play, like I think they had three. I think it was four fumbles altogether. They recovered two or three, but it like
Yeah.
I'm saying, it's just it was such a aggressive level, physical level of defense that I think it really shook. I mean, imagine you just getting smoked in the forearm every time. Like that's what they were doing.
Yeah.
Borderline dirty
I
football, but
mean,
it's football.
you've seen the interception return for a touchdown. I mean, that was big. That put them up 10-0.
But McLovin, there was another play that I believe Alabama scored on that drive, and that was an interception. Oklahoma had another interception, and
Oh, I seen
uh,
that and I was mad. I
it
was like,
ended
"Are
up
you
getting
kidding me?"
called back but it was a pass interference, but it was non-play related. It was on the other side of the play, like it wasn't even looking at the guy. But
Right. Yeah, that's I was
unfortunately, yeah.
upset with the play. That was very bad on the refs.
Oklahoma gets a marquee win under Brent Venables, and I
Yeah.
think this one is different than last year's because last year's didn't mean nothing.
Right.
Oklahoma, I think they went to a bowl, and then ultimately, I don't even know if Oklahoma went to a bowl. Alabama went to a bowl last year, so it didn't mean nothing last year. It means something this year. It means Oklahoma's playoff hopes are now I mean, you look at Missouri with a what is it, a third string quarterback, and then you LSU, and no offense, McLovin. This is, if any time you want to catch LSU, it's now, right?
Oh, definitely.
So now their playoff hopes is like, hey, let's just handle business instead of where Texas is, we gotta win.
Right.
But yeah, man, where do you think this leaves Alabama, McLovin?
They got one out. You can't take another loss. If you and I mean, where are they ranked right now? Number 10.
That's what I'm trying to see who Alabama has.
You might not get in if you went out. I think Auburn is the only big opponent. They have Eastern Illinois next. But Auburn at the end of the season for the what do they call it? War Eagle.
Yeah. Which I'm going to tell you, dude, Auburn's no slouch this year. Like
No, definitely. Their defense is
people
good.
have that misconception because of just how bad and horrific the offense has performed. But that's not the case. Auburn definitely is capable if they can put just something together. Yeah, Alabama has Eastern Illinois, and they finish off with Auburn. Realistically, the only loss you're looking at could potentially be to Auburn.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, so I do have the playoffs. I'm sitting here looking at it while I'm on ESPN. It's actually Tulane in that 12 spot.
Yeah,
Now
I did see that too. Yeah.
that blows. Like, are we really, really? And then a Miami team that lost to, who'd they lose to? Pitt and SMU. Come on, brother.
Mm-hmm.
Get out of here. Who's at the 10 spot? Okay, Alabama. I don't have a problem with that. But anyways, Oklahoma as well. Other than that, Alabama controls their own fate. Kalen DeBoer, first time they lost in that building in his tenure, but I'm sure he's okay. Dude, what about, do you think Ryan Williams has dropped off this year?
Oh, definitely.
Like, I
You
keep
don't look. He had one key catch in that game, and that was it.
Yeah, I mean, I look at the receiver core. I see Bernard, number 5, but I watch these games and I'm like, oh yeah, they got a good receiver on there, Ryan Williams, and like you see him make a catch, but it's not like the dude like Jeremiah Smith is a presence. Like, you got to feel the presence.
Right.
Anyways, that's just that. But McGovern, let's go to the last game of the night. Unfortunately, my Texas Longhorns, they go to Athens and get just drug through the garden.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just I feel so. The problem is Kirby releases a speech after, and he's saying how at his program, they don't just pay players. Players there don't just get a check; they got to be physical, and if they're not physical, they don't get a check. And he also said, I believe today, that Kirby, you said that after the Texas game, if your players weren't physical, da da da. And he's like, yeah, man. Well, if players aren't physical and they want to hit the transfer portal, we normally schedule them. We schedule them when they can, like, as soon as they can enter, and hopefully they can go to one of them programs because we like to play those programs. That's verbatim Kirby Smart. It just feels as a Texas fan that you're still like the dark clouds still over your head. It's still raining. I don't think you really get this bad taste out of your mouth until the next sure win. Let's just say that. McLovin, what was your thoughts from what you saw of my beloved Longhorns, brother?
Man, it sucked because y'all were down 10-14 at one point in that game. I was like, oh yeah, Texas, they just scored. They got the fourth quarter.
Fourth quarter,
Yeah.
Yeah, we did have the fourth quarter for sure.
Wow. Georgia just had a really, really, really good fourth quarter.
Let me just give you.
Y'all's defense was on the field too long throughout the entire game, and that's what killed y'all.
Let me just give you this little nugget, McLovin. I'm gonna start because I think it's a misrepresentation when you say, "Oh, well, Texas is they're not physical." And what I say about that is, can we be more physical? For sure. You can play with a ruthless level of physicality. That's what the goal is. But I don't think it's so much, we were outfit. Now, our offensive scheme, the way it's now more spread, isn't a physical approach to a game. It's more get the ball out in space and not have to run in between the tackles. But that's just because our offensive line is just poor, brother.
Right.
I just don't think we were out physical. I think we were out schemed, and we were out coached, and we were out executed. I'm going to give you the sequence, McLovin. When you say we all were down 10-14, we were down 10-14 for a brief moment with 4 minutes left in the third quarter. And if you're Texas, as many poorly executed plays, as many penalties as you had, as many drop balls as you had, to be on the road at Georgia only down by 4 with 4 minutes left in the third quarter is a blessing, really. So we put ourselves back in a position with momentum going our way. Credit to Kirby because Kirby saw that.
Right.
Arch Manning leaves the field down by 4, just leading his team after an Anthony Hill interception, just leading his team to go be down by that deficit instead of what it was at 11. So then they take the field, Georgia, and then we get them on a 4th and 1 on their own 39-yard line, and they ended up, what kind of gutsy coach that trusts his team, knows his players. This is where I give credit to Kirby Smart. If you don't like him, he's still a good coach. Goes for it, gets it. Then we get him into a 4th and 6. Colin Simmons jumps off sides. We have a PI call. Then we give him a first down. Then they go score a touchdown to make it 21-10. Arch doesn't see the field because why? Kirby Smart goes for an onside kick at the beginning of the fourth quarter. What a genius of a play, because I didn't expect it. Sark did. They didn't expect it because they would have prepared for it. And it's like it's kind of like that play that it's like a hack a Shaq. Do you love it? Because if your opponent, you're like, man, you don't even know. You're like, bro, what a low blow. What a low blow.
Yeah, I definitely could see it from that point of view. That just seems like a cheap shot. You're wanting to see football, a good football game. That just it gets in the win. But I think if Texas would have got the ball back, they could have tried to compete.
Well, and that's what I'm getting at. And I want you. So they go down there and score after that onside kick, and now that was a gut. The onside kick itself was the gut punch because now you've took a team. What little momentum we had. You like totally crushed that in a matter of like moments. So the defense now has to go back on the field after they blew 2 4th downs. This is why I'm like, yeah, when people were like, oh man, Texas, it was just such a blowout. It was a blowout at the end when 2 things happened and then you just got put in a bad spot on a fired up crowd. But like I said, Arch left the field down by 4. When Arch returned to the field, we were down by 18. How does that even make sense? Like that's how fast it changed.
Yeah, I understand that.
But here's the deal. Kudos to Kirby because this is the coaching era. It's like, look, you can be friends with Sark and Sark can be friends with you, but I got to take care. I got to be a winning coach because these fan bases will turn on me in a heartbeat. We've seen that all year. Coaches that just like, oh, well, we see a team that got better in 2 years. We want a new coach. Bye. We don't care what you were building. It took too long. Bye. So you've got to take care of you. And I hate to say it, look, man, don't think somebody won't pants you because they will. And that's what Texas got. We got pants right there. That's what it felt like.
Yeah.
So drops, I'm not going to go too far on to this game because I've talked about this game plenty enough. And McLovin, you can wrap your thoughts up about it and then we'll chally on out of here. My highlights for the game, McLovin, is why did we ever get away from the run? Like Trey Wisner.
Yep. I see that constantly with y'all. Y'all are doing good with the run, good with the run. Y'all go away from it. I just don't understand that. I was even talking Sunday with the old friend from work, and his name's Trent.
God
And
bless you,
he was
Trent.
like,
Thank
"Yeah,
you for.
why did we go away from the run?" He's a huge Texas fan, and just
Wisner had so there's two things that you're as a Texas fan we're observing. Wisner goes up the middle and then he sees no hole, so he decides that he's going to try to run it out. Well, you can't do that against Georgia because their linebackers are faster than your running backs. That's how they recruit. It was a loss of 8 yards. Then every time we'd run, there would be a holding penalty. So then Sark follows this up today, which was kind of a head scratcher. And I heard somebody say on OTF today and it was such a good point. But Sark makes a comment in the post presser and it's like, we didn't have the opportunities to run. We'd love to run the football, but we didn't have the opportunities to run. McLovin, can I ask you something?
oh yeah.
What does that actually mean? Do you have a first down? Do you have a second down? What do you mean you don't have opportunities to run the football? You
You always
give
have
it to a
opportunities
guy
to
and you
win.
say, "I need you to be a workhorse. Go get me 5 or 6." What do you mean?
Yeah, that I don't know. I didn't like that, and he said a couple things that I didn't like in a lot of these interviews, and
Well, yeah, I know it's going around right now about the are you an underachiever? Like about the underachieving.
yeah,
I think what he said that he didn't he said it in a like he's trying to be the tough guy for the kids is what I'm gaining.
yeah, I can see that.
But what
I
I
don't like
think
the. Did we underachieve? Of course we underachieved. We thought we were going to do better this year, obviously, but also the reporter is a dingbat for even asking that question.
yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? What? Of course we underachieved. He's not just going to give you that answer that you want.
Well, let's just be honest. Right after the Georgia game, asking me anything about like too soon, like me as a Texas fan, man, you asked me Monday. I made a crashed out Monday. I was that upset about it. Yeah, it
Right.
was pretty tough on me. Um, but yeah, so what I think he meant when he said, "Yeah, by whose standards did we underachieve by?" Well, the voters. That's on them. I think what he was meaning to say was, how are you saying we underachieved right now when, like I just explained to you earlier, if they take care of business, very strong argument that with Texas going and beating A&M, a number 3 team, and the only reason why they're not number 2 is because Indiana has gave no kind of thought of letting number 2 go. But that's what I'm saying. Um, yeah, it's interesting. I think that's what he meant. I think he meant that there's still time left in the season. So why would we say we underachieve right now? If we finish out the season strong, make a playoff stance, and make a run, then we've technically checked the box.
Right.
Next thing, McLovin, penalties, dude. Penalties, 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 penalties. You cannot
Penalty
have
central.
Ryan Niblett, what a gutsy man, takes it up the middle for 60 on a kick return. The guy they didn't want to give one, that would have been a momentum swing just because Ryan Niblett, you're telling your whole sideline, don't kick to Niblett, don't kick to Niblett, don't kick to Niblett. And all of a sudden you let one fly to Niblett and he does take it 60. You wanted to try him and he proved that he was
You
him.
proved you wrong.
But guess what? Oh, no, 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 no. Look back there, McLovin. Back there, there's a yellow flag on the ground once again, and it's on the burnt orange. It drives me nuts, dude. We can't. If we have a chance at an explosive, we'll drop a ball. If we complete the
Oh
pass,
yeah.
there'll be a flag somewhere. It literally. What would you do if you were a coach and you were like? I don't. I'm wondering. I thought about like commenting on one of these pages today and like, what's the approach to get this out of kids? Like, I'm just curious. Like, do you yell louder?
No,
I mean, I would be punching sheetrock in the building. Do you understand? Because I like that's just like you're taking all your explosives away by penalties.
right.
You know, LSU's penalized quite a bit, or at least
Oh,
they
God,
were.
especially that offensive line.
So that's my second, and then last but not least, I think I don't know why Texas has adapted to such soft coverage, but if you look, our corners will play 10 yards deep, and the receivers will run a 6-yard hitch, and they'll complete it. Because why? Because there's still 4 more yards of cushion.
Yeah,
Doesn't add up.
I
But
definitely get that.
at the end of the day, Georgia's just a better team. I don't think anybody in the SEC, and yes, I'm going to even say that for A&M, wants to play Georgia right now because Gunnar Stockton, if he didn't prove it to y'all that he could very well be a Heisman contender, because I'm telling you, Buddy's on point. Like I said, remember how I said Marcel Reed will look like Marcel Reed? He'll throw 2 ugly picks and have a couple bad possessions and get down 30-3. Gunnar Stockton hasn't been that. Gunnar Stockton,
Right. He
if
looks
you wanted
good.
to start out slow, he would start out slow and let you find out where you're at. But if you wanted to start out roping it, he would rope it.
I mean, at the end of the day, Georgia wouldn't have got rid of what's his face if they weren't ready for. They didn't think he was better than them.
Shoot, I don't know if Miami even wants him now. Shoot, he may blame the coaches next. He didn't blame the players.
I mean, he looked good last weekend.
Yeah, I mean, well, look,
NC State isn't a bad team. That's the thing. They blew NC State out.
I think it's going to go to a 16-team playoff, and why am I bringing that comment out? Because the 12-team playoff, there's a reality for everybody. That's why you're seeing teams like, I think that's why you're going to see a Texas team come out and respond, because like there's still a chance, like 12 teams, and when you get to 16, why not? You make some more revenue on a different bowl. I think that's where we're heading to. But like closing thoughts on Texas and Georgia. Kirby Smart is basically who we have to call daddy. But at the end of the day, I saw the weird cycle where Kirby Smart has to call Alabama daddy, and Alabama has to call Oklahoma daddy, and Brent Venables has to call us daddy. So it's a ruthless cycle. If you remember, McLovin, Kirby Smart, whenever he started it, what was that, 2014-13, didn't really get hot until 2019, 2020. But Kirby, for the life of him, could not get over Nick Saban, and I think that's just where Sark is. He's got to climb that. Yeah, he's got to climb that Everest of a mountain in Georgia, and Kirby, that's his Mount Everest. So, anyways, well, McLovin, let me just say this, kind of show the people around. We got a new backdrop here. You see, if you look up, yeah, thank you. If you look up and see, hang on, can I get a little clap reaction? If you look up,
oh, you're doing that. Okay.
You could see you see the home team is, I changed the home team on the scoreboard to TTOP, beautiful TTOP layout, and we have the beautiful TTOP sideline with Peach and McLovin. I'm actually kind of a fan of that logo. Like, I'd put that on the hat.
It looked really good when we first started. I was like, oh wow.
Yeah, man. We're going to try to be a little bit better about consistency. 90% of the time, that's my fault. 10% of the time, it's McLovin's fault. And really, it's probably 95% my fault, but McLovin needs to take more ownership as a co-host. We'll give him at least 10.
Yeah, I'll call you more times to make sure.
Yeah. Well, so this Sunday, I'll be going to Branson, Missouri, but we'll try to link up and do something. For sure, do a reaction show. But like I said, this is just a start to many sports conversations. We appreciate each and everybody who watch and like the show, man. If you haven't already subscribed, do so. It's very much appreciated. McLovin, send us home, and we'll get out of here, brother.
hey, subscribe, like, share, TTOP Sideline.
Wherever you do
What are
your
we on?
social media.
TTOP Network?
Yeah, man, we're on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Threads. I don't know why I picked Threads. I was like, I had Threads in my face or Twitter that just changed to X, and I'm like, I think Threads is going to be the next big thing, but it sure has not. But anyways, we're on there, and YouTube. YouTube is the platform where I like to be the most. But yeah, you see us there. Hit that like and subscribe, and then you can see this guy every week over here. This old tiger himself with that. You just need to paint the whole back wall purple, McLovin. Just paint that corner. But anyways, McLovin, this is the first time we are on the TTOP Sideline with Peach and I almost said Peach and Smith, Peach and McLovin.
We just changed it.
Yeah, it takes some time. Yeah, well, and the reason, if anybody's curious, well, why do you keep doing name change? Look, T-Top's a group. That's our gaming group. Our buddies are kind of center, and I just wanted to branch off of that, find something original and something that kind of pertains to sports, how we like to talk about it. Anyways, McLovin, hopefully get his stream up sometime and let us see that beautiful Call of Duty gameplay that he's got going on over there.
More NCAA. We need to do an NCAA stream.
Yeah, man, I'm cool with it. But
me and you get on a rebuild for from a little team.
I wish you could do a an actual like dynasty together. Like that's what in my mind I was like, oh well, if you could get on there with your friends and then like
do an online. I think you can do an online dynasty.
Yeah, but like
I'll look it up and we'll get in touch.
But you know what I mean though. Like say like right. You recruit like when I'm not there, I could get on and be like, hey McLovin, just so you know, I got that guy such and such.
Right.
You know, just something like that. But anyways, I don't know. You find out. I'm sure you can chat GPT and find it out in 5 minutes. But anyways, McLovin, I'm out of here. God bless you to my Longhorn fans. It was a hard one, but
hey Tigers.
Horns up. Go ahead.
Stick in there. You know, we're gonna get a new head coach and on the next season.
Hook 'em horns, baby.
Go Tigers.
Yeah. I was about to say this is your Go Tigers insurgent. All right, dog.
All right, brother.